Oh, it doesn't matter what happens, that never gets old. I love it.
Same here,
Woo!
man. Same here.
All right, guys, you just have Vince tonight today. That's right. We're the new fantasy crew, baby. It's all you need. It's all you want. Trust me, we know. We don't have to tell the other guys. But guys, what a game! What a Monday night game! Right now, we are recording right after the game, and I did not expect it to be that close, that tight, going into overtime.
Yeah, bro. It was definitely insane. Again, man, so many missed kicks, missed opportunities to win a game. But I mean, yeah, y'all guessed it right. Ravens won. So I'll put that in the little standings that we have for Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football's
And
records.
and you know what? At the end, I wanted the Colts to win. Deep down, I wanted the Colts to win, but I needed the game to be over in order to win in one of my fantasy leagues. It was that
Dude.
time where I was already celebrating. Um, the opponent that I was going up against, he had Hollywood Brown, and Hollywood Brown needed to get 30 points in order to beat me, and he just achieved that. I believe he got like 32, right?
Yeah, so I think you got beat by like 2 or 3 points.
Insane. Wow, what a good game. It was a high scoring game. So props to my opponent out there. If I don't know if he's watching, Peyton White. He was actually the guy who's texting me some death threats and some very not so nice comments to me earlier. He thought I had the game in the bag, but I mean, you never know with fantasy, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think anybody expected Mark Andrews to have a career game either. I think he had like 40 something points on fantasy. Insane.
Oh yeah, that is insane. And you know what? I want to shout out to my work league over there in Cordillera. I know some of these guys watch this show. It was me and the last undefeated guy. This is a 14-man league, guys. This is extremely difficult. Never been in a league like this. It is hard, and people are just so tight with trades and transitions. It's crazy. So me and this other guy are 4-0, and we're going up against each other. So we're the last, undefeated teams on the market. We play up against each other. He had Mark Andrews, and I would have been scared, but I had Lamar Jackson.
Uh,
So
uh,
everything that happened is just canceled out because Lamar was getting that many points as well. Hey, but good fight, man. I hope you're watching. But no, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see each other again. Keep on grinding on fantasy. Anyways, who was I don't know who was the biggest take in fantasy this week, Vince? Who just blew your mind?
are we talking like original starters or are we talking like sleepers?
I'm talking about anyone who has a jersey on their back and is on the field.
Oh, man, honestly, it's always going to be Mike Williams, bro. I love that guy just because he's on one of my or actually I think two of my fantasies out of the three. So he's always a guy who's crazy good. But Devante Adams probably had the best week out of the receivers for sure. I think in one of my leagues he got me like 47 points, which is pretty insane. So definitely that guy. Another guy I'd probably shout out is Tom Brady. He did very
Jeez.
well. It's like insane. And
Like
then the guy that we
40
just talked
points.
about too. I mean, Mark Andrews. But yeah, all those guys scored at least above 30. Three of
But
them are
40.
above 40. So it's hard to say who had the best week this week.
Yeah, no, I mean, those guys were incredible. Mark Andrews had a career day. Mike Williams, of course, had another great day. It's just the week that I needed him to get at least 5 points, he didn't. So, and that was last week against you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked. But you know what? He secured a lot of wins for me. I have him in 2 out of my 3 leagues, and man, I like that guy. I was a diamond in the rough for sure.
Heck yeah.
But shout out to you, Joseph. Hey, that was a good matchup, man. Appreciate the trash talk you said on earlier, but I like the comp. I like it. We're gonna see each other again in the playoffs. Don't worry. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
but guys, this is the first week. Okay, this is where it starts getting challenging. Okay, here's why. This is the first week that the NFL is going into their bye weeks. So we have teams like the Falcons, the Jets, the Saints, and the 49ers who are on a bye week. And I know some of you guys are saying Falcons, Jets, Saints, Niners. There's not really, people who I need on the team, but I beg to differ. Falcons, Kyle Pitts, he had a career day last. Well, Yeah, last week or Sunday,
Yeah,
Sunday morning.
just the
Yeah.
past few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like where's this video coming out, but but yeah, Kyle Pitts had a career day. He tore it up. He tore it up for my fantasy for sure, which gave me a chance against Peyton White. So you gotta look out for that. You know, got to replace the tight end, which a tight end that's available. It still blows my mind. You know who I'm talking about, right, Vince?
Yeah, man, I got him right here on my phone too. I know you can talk about him.
I'm talking about Hunter Henry, guys. What are y'all? What's the holdup here? I'm waiting. What's the holdup? He's only owned in where are my notes at? 16% of leagues. He's only owned in 16% of leagues. Why? What's going on?
I think everybody's scared. They didn't expect him to be used a lot for the Patriots offense. Like first 3 weeks, I mean, the highest he scored was 8.6. So last week he scored 13.2, and they're like, oh, he might go back down. Like he's decent. He gets a lot more points than a lot of other tight ends consistently, but um, he just needed another week to go out and ball out, and he did that this week, getting 19.5 points in PPR league. So yeah, I mean he's definitely a pickup, especially if you have any of those tight ends that have a bye week this week, which is like Kittle. Let's see. Of course, you talked right now about the Falcons tight end
Kyle
and
Pitts,
Kyle Pitts.
Kittle.
Basically, that's
Yeah.
about it. So
Hmm.
if you have any of those guys, you don't have a backup tight end. This guy's probably your best bet because he's probably still sitting down there in the free agency in your league.
That's right. And remember, guys, don't make sure your expectations for tight ends aren't too high. If they are averaging at least 9 to 10 points a game, that's solid right there. If they could get more than that, then heck yeah, but don't expect that every week. Make sure your expectations are real with them. I mean, over time, their points are going to go up because people are going to be utilizing tight ends more in the future, in my beliefs. But don't be greedy. You know, get the guy who gets you points. Hunter Henry's out there; he's available. Go pick him up, especially for this bye week. Especially with George Kittle going to IR, Gronkowski going to IR, Logan Thomas going to IR. There's some big name tight ends right there. Don't be greedy. Go get them. I mean, it'll be fine. Trust me, it's gonna be okay. Jets. I mean, we got who's that guy? Michael Carter,
Yeah.
Crowder, wide receiver. You got a couple of guys. You know, not big name guys, but I mean, those guys that people have as their flex, or maybe just to hold up a couple points, just in case of injuries. Who can we put in to replace those guys?
Well, right now there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, if we're talking like flex, there's running backs, there's wide receivers that you could use there. I know in some leagues you can use a tight end there. So we just talked about a tight end. The last tight end that I had on mine is Zack Ertz. So for those of you who can put him in the flex, he didn't get too much production this week, but he's getting those targets in the red zone. So he's gonna be good. Especially, I think AJ just told me a little while ago that Goddard is injured and he's questionable. So look for him to really expose the defense he's going to be playing against in the Kansas City Chiefs. So, but yeah, wide receivers, I got McCole Hardman from Kansas City. He just had 16.6 points. Right now, he's pretty consistent. I mean, the lowest that he scored is 4.9, and that was week one. But the past 4 weeks, he's scored above 10 points 3 times out of the 4 weeks. Uh, Here's a guy that I think is going to be good. Uh, I know AJ loves this guy forever and ever. His name is T.Y. Hilton.
Oh,
He might come off a injured reserve this week. They were holding him out this week because they want him to for sure be healthy enough to play for the game. But he'll be going up against Houston. Houston's got a pretty good backfield, but I mean T.Y. Hilton's T.Y. Hilton. If he's healthy, he's gonna get some points on there. And even if he doesn't, there's that injury reserve slot that Reed talked about in our last video. So pretty much put him out there. Uh, Another no-name guy before we get to the big hitter that me and you both love so far. Uh, his name is Amanra St. Brown. He plays for the Detroit Lions. He hasn't been consistently good the first 3 weeks, but the past 2 weeks he's scored 13 points in each. Um, you throw a touchdown in there, that's already 19 points. So look for him to get some more touches against Cincinnati. Um, but yeah, now up to the guy that we both have on our list, who's went crazy this past week, even though his team lost. Kadarius Toney, man,
That's a mean right hook, man. You gotta
goodness.
get him.
Oh yeah, hopefully he doesn't get fined for that. But this guy has been doubling his production every week since week 3 when he first started actually getting some receptions. Week 3 he had 3.6 points. Week 4 13.9, and this past week right now against Dallas 29.6. This guy had 13 targets this past week. He caught 10 of them for like I think 189 yards. So that's not even counting any touchdowns. So imagine when this guy gets touchdowns. But the biggest concern about that guy right now is, of course, being fined and getting not being able to play this next game, and Daniel Jones is out. So
Yes.
how can Mike Glennon get the ball to him? Just throw it to him, bro. I'm pretty sure he's gonna catch it.
Well, he's not gonna have a lot of options. I mean, uh, he's gonna rely on someone, and I'm more than sure Kadarius is gonna be that guy if he's not fined or suspended for a game, stuff like that. So keep an eye there. He's only owned in 3.1% of rosters, so he will be available. Check him out. Going back to what you're saying about T.Y. Hilton, I don't know if you saw me doing the T.Y. right there.
No,
Uh,
I
little
didn't.
respect out of that. But yeah, going back to T.Y. Hilton, there's another player out there, guys. There's another player that has not stepped foot on the field yet this season. And when he does, he's going to wreak havoc amongst all those teams because you have an MVP candidate at the QB position. Are you guys ready for it? This is also a good pickup for those bye week guys. Well, actually, yes, it is going to be a good pickup for these bye week guys because he was going to start this week. He more than likely will be available the following week to replace like a good Debo Samuel or to replace, a as a flex for Alvin Kamara. I know he hasn't been performing to the fullest this year, but I'm talking about Rashad Bateman. Oh yeah, and you guys right now, you guys are thinking Rashad Bateman. He sounds so familiar. This guy's a stud. He's a wide receiver over there for the Baltimore Ravens, and he hasn't played a single game this year, but when he balls out, you guys. And especially with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens catching their fire, especially after this game, they would have come out hot because now they're trying to prove a point, trying to prove that hey, these Bengals are good, but I mean they're the Bengals, okay? Remember us, remember me. I'm Lamar Jackson, former MVP. I'm an MVP candidate right now. I'm going to prove to you why. And Rashad Bateman, he's already getting owned. Okay, not a lot. He's on 8% of rosters. That's 8% for someone who's not played a single game. Okay, that 8%, I commend you because you guys know what you're doing. Guys, pick him up because he could be a huge game changer for your fantasy league. That's my blue chip player. That's an early blue chip player I'm going to be announcing. So Rashad Bateman for the Baltimore Ravens. He should be back week 6. Guys, go get him.
There you go, man. And that's pretty good too, because I mean, Lamar Jackson has been going off the past few games. I can't remember if it was the past 2 games or the past 3 games that he's had over 300 yards. And this past game, Reed just sent us something a little while ago that he's the first quarterback to go for 400 passing yards and having a completion percentage of over 85%. So he's the first quarterback ever in the league to do that. So
And Sammy Watkins left the
mm,
game on an injury. That's a huge injury right there for you fantasy players. Sammy Watkins, he did leave the game. It wasn't specified. Well, I didn't hear it. I was trying to get these notes down and helping out other people about the injury, but that's something to worry about. And with Rashad Bateman coming in, that's a lot of targets right there because they're going to be double covering Hollywood Brown. And with the career day that the tight end had, someone else has to be seeing some touches.
oh yeah, for sure. They're definitely going to be covering Brown and that tight end. So,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, man.
Super excited about it. I don't know if you could tell or not, but I'm just like super pumped because I'm going to try to get him in my leagues. But this is why we are releasing this uh tomorrow, Tuesday, so everyone could get a chance because we're fair like that, you guys. It's a curse. I mean, I could have been, you know, undefeated, but whatever. Anyways, If you're having QB trouble, who should we look out for, Vince?
Well, right now, of course, I hate to say it, but everybody's been passing up on this guy for too long. We said it, I believe, the past 2 weeks we've been doing this already. His name is Sam Darnold. I don't
Who's
know
that
why.
guy?
I don't know why you guys are sleeping on him. Whoever half of you are, whoever play fantasy, because he's only owned in 50% of leagues. Like, why is this guy not starting in any league? And then his starting percentage out of that 50% is 17%. Like maybe they have someone like Lamar Jackson ahead of him. Like he's probably on a lot of teams that have guys that are smart. So maybe he's just sitting on the bench because he's got someone else a little bit better than him. But this guy, he just had a 31-point game against Dallas. He's only had one game under 20 points, and that was an 18.9 point game. Like that's amazing. I know in one of my leagues I have him on my roster because right now I'm having some quarterback trouble, so I want to see who to switch him out with. But he's definitely a guy you need to pick up, especially if you're having a guy at quarterback who's like maybe lower than 20 points, or maybe every now and then he'll get 25. Well, Sam Darnold's doing it consistently,
Yes,
so
he is.
get him in there. He's
Yeah.
your savior, and I don't think he has a bye week until week 13. So,
Especially if you're like me and you're suffering from an injured Russell Wilson.
oh yeah, for sure. If you're suffering from Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, you just have a rookie in there for some reason. Uh, but yeah, this guy's definitely good. Another guy I want to talk about, he just played too, not Lamar Jackson, but Carson Wentz. He is
Oh,
he is only owned in 2.6% of leagues. AJ, what
what?
the heck? I
The
mean, of course,
disrespect.
not everybody likes this guy too much because he couldn't get it done in Philly. He always rode the bench when they were in tough games because he was injured. But yeah, this guy's got some glass ankles. But today, I think how many points did I tell you that he scored?
Ah,
I can't remember. It's like
jeez.
26 or something like that.
Mm.
Can't remember. Which is not extremely high, but it's not extremely low either. But yeah, he hasn't been producing too great. But I mean, he hasn't had a game below 17 besides the week when they played Tennessee. That week he had 7.6 points, but every other week he's had above 17 points. So if you're in a league like AJ where you have a 14-man uh, like roster set up like that, there's 14 other teams that can pick up anybody. If this guy's on there, pick him up as your backup, as someone you can alternate, especially if you have a bye week for someone. But yeah, this guy, he's going up against Houston next week. And of course, if T.Y. Hilton comes back, he's going to have even more guys to throw to. So he's got Mo Alley Cox right now. He's got, what's his name, number 11? Help me out here, AJ. I have him on
Brady.
my list too.
I gotta go through my papers.
He's got good receivers there. I mean, it's apparently like
I got
it's
Pascal.
yeah. He's
Is that what
got
you're talking about?
Pascal. He's got Pittman. That's who I was searching for.
Oh,
Pittman,
Pittman.
Michael Pittman. Um, But yeah, I mean, he's going to have Michael Pittman, Pascal, Mo Alley Cox, who's been rising up in the leagues. He's not a good points guy for fantasy, but he's definitely a good buffer for Carson Wentz to pass to. And of course, this is what I barely noticed this about him. He does a lot of shovel passes to his running backs, and it showed evidently today in the game against the Ravens. So, I mean, he's getting his points here and there, and he's got a great team around him. They just can't capitalize at the end, man. That's why they're 1-4 right now.
It's sad. Yeah, they had a blocked field goal and then a missed field goal. And it's just, it was sad. Dang it. Sad for fantasy owners for sure.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, for those y'all wondering, for different players, like what about Trey Lance? That's a new mobile quarterback on the market. Well, if Jimmy G is healthy, Kyle Shanahan already announced that Jimmy G will be the starting quarterback if healthy. But I mean, you never know. He could pull Matt Nagy, but I don't see that going that way. That was kind of messed up by Matt Nagy. I mean, who says that? Oh, Andy Dalton's could be our starter. Then the day before,
Kick
it's
him out.
Justin Fields. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. As far as QBs, that's all I got. I was going to mention Trevor Lawrence. But I mean, more people own Trevor Lawrence than they do Sam Darnold. How crazy is that?
Crazy,
Messed
bro.
up. Yeah,
Crazy.
messed up. Let's get to some questions. We actually got sent some questions via Twitter. If you guys do not know what our Twitter is, here's our at. We are at NSP Football Talk. But if you're trying to find our name, it is Not So Pro Football Talk. Okay, at NSP Football Talk, named Not So Pro Football Talk. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. It's all right here underneath our pictures. We can finally see it now. Now that there's only two of us. So yeah,
Right?
we're all right there. Shoot us a question. We got a couple of questions. One of them was about the bye week and who they should replace. We kind of answered that. One question I got on Sunday was, should I pick up Chris Moore? And who is Chris Moore? Chris Moore was a wide receiver activated by the Houston Texans against the Patriots. He scored like 29 points that game. I mean, he went off. I mean, he looked great. And everyone's like, dang, where did this guy come from? Finally, we got a good wide receiver. Uh, whatever. I mean, Cooks has been doing good as well. But unfortunately, no, do not pick up Chris Moore. As of Monday, the very next day, they reverted him back into the practice squad. For what reasons? It's unknown. Uh, maybe he has a bad attitude or something, but I mean, that's a shame. Shame for some fantasy users. So no, do not pick up Chris Moore. That's a dead end over there unless they reactivate him. Even at that, I wouldn't really trust him. He only had one game. Of course, that was his first game in, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Davis Mills likes him.
Even if he is activated, they're going up against the Colts, and we just saw what the Colts did to the Ravens until the second half. But yeah, I wouldn't trust him against a team like the Texans.
No, sir. So next question. I have Justin Herbert and Aaron Rodgers in my league. Who should I start going forward? This is a good one. And how the HE double hockey sticks did you end up with both Justin Herbert and Aaron Rodgers? That's very fortunate of you. Who should you start going forward? Initial thought right away, Aaron Rodgers. It has to be, right? This guy's a legend, former MVP. I mean, this guy's just solid all the way around. And I was going to say, because he's more consistent. And you know what? He is consistent, but as consistent as he only averages 18.21 points. On the other hand, Justin Herbert, he averages 24.61 points. But AJ, Aaron Rodgers had a bad first week. You can't put that on him. I mean, you're right. Justin Herbert had a bad first 2 weeks. Not as bad as Aaron Rodgers, but they weren't that great. And the tiebreaker, it was looking at each other's schedule. See, I go into this. I'm like a detective. They call me Batman over here. Fantasy Batman. That's what you call me. Fantasy Batman. I go into this, and the Chargers schedule is slightly more beneficial uh, defensively going forward. So, what I mean by that is the Chargers are going to have an easier time scoring some points against the defense that they're lined up against their schedule, other than the Packers. The Packers have a pretty favorable schedule, but not as much as the Chargers. So, that's my answer. I don't know if Vincent has anything different, but I would say you start Justin Herbert and try to trade Aaron Rodgers. You get something good for him.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm looking at Herbert's schedule right now. He's facing Baltimore next week. I mean, we just saw what Carson Wentz did to Baltimore, and Carson Wentz is not as good as Justin Herbert.
Correct.
So I don't think that the Ravens defense can adjust too well to the type of monsters that the Chargers have. So I would definitely put Herbert in. I see that he's got a bye week, week 7. So I mean, if he doesn't perform, I mean, you're forced to put Aaron Rodgers in week 7 anyways. So try this guy out. He just scored 46 freaking points on fantasy. That's Justin Herbert. So he's definitely worthy of a start after a performance like that. See if he can replicate it against the weak Baltimore defense right now.
Oh yeah, very weak. I feel like they've been exposed. They're just, especially in the running game, their rush defense was horrible. They were just running all over. They had that three-headed monster. Even though Mac requested a trade last week, and hopefully he goes to a worthy team. I don't know, a team who's struggling, maybe to the Chiefs. I don't know. Hilaire. You never know how bad an injury is.
For sure, man. Yeah. But yeah, just to hit up on that too. I mean, LA has Eckler, so I mean, if there's three different running backs that can run over Baltimore, I mean, so can Eckler, and
Oh
that guy
yeah.
Roundtree that they have as the backup. I mean, definitely, definitely start him wherever you are.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I just said Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's injured. Okay. So do we put in our trust in Daryl Williams?
I would say yes. And then the only reason I would say yes is because they're going up against Washington football team. Washington
Who's
football team does not put up a lot of points so far. They're a good team, but the defense hasn't been playing up to like our expectations here. Um, but the only reason that Darrell Williams didn't have more points this past game against Buffalo is because they were behind by so many points. So I think going up against Washington, they'll have a better chance at being up in the game or being neck and neck with them. So I think Darrell Williams will get a lot more touches, especially since Edwards-Helaire is out. I think this past game he had 5 rushing attempts for 27 yards. That's already a 5.25 rushing yards per carry. So that's pretty good. Um, but yeah, I think he'll definitely get a lot more touches this week, especially since Mahomes needs to get back on track. So probably do some shovel passes. You know, Mahomes will do anything to get a win. So hopefully he uses this guy. But yeah, I think he's a good guy to switch in if you have Alaire injured on your team.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely hit him up on the waiver wire. He should be good for at least 2 weeks. They haven't officially placed Hilaire in the injury reserve list, but I mean, we're gonna get some more information hopefully tomorrow. But we're gonna keep an eye on it just for y'all. We'll let you guys know on our social medias. But we got a couple of good matchups this week, so I want to talk about defense. You know me, I'm a defense type of guy, right? So I'm the type of guy that switch their defense every week or almost every week if need be. So, um, defense this upcoming week, I see the biggest scoring defense I can predict is going to be the LA Rams. They're going up against the New York Giants, and normally I would not go with this matchup, but the Giants they just lost Saquon, they lost Daniel Jones, they lost Kenny Galladay, they lost some big name offensive weapons there, especially Daniel Jones. He's their quarterback, the guy who leads the team. I mean, what are you going to do? And they're already hurting in a wide receiver position and some offensive lineman positions. So I mean, the Rams, they have a great defense and a great defensive front. So I feel like they're just gonna run all over that Giants offense, and it's just gonna be a slaughter. They should be getting you more than I'm gonna go out, bold prediction here. They're getting you more than 15 points.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that happening. Maybe a defensive touchdown there probably holds them to like under I'm going to say under 14 points
Ooh.
because I don't think New York scores more than that without Daniel Jones. He was the heart and soul of that team when Saquon was hurt. Even when Saquon was there, he was I think their leading rusher most of the time.
Mhm.
Uh, but with all those injuries, I mean, there's a guy. His name is Devante Booker. He's going to be their top running back now since Saquon's hurt. I think Glennon is going to be relying on that guy a lot. So even though they're not going to put up a lot of points, I feel like they're going to throw some shovel passes to him, give him the ball, try to get something going, see if Glennon can make some magic. But Devontae Booker pick him up for the New York Giants. But yeah, I don't think they're going to do very well. So
Mm-mm. Another defense that I see can do really well is the Colts. We just saw him against Lamar Jackson, and yes, Lamar, he's a cheat man. He because he could run the ball like crazy. But they're going up against the Texans and Davis Mills. Davis Mills this past game got sacked 3 times. The game before that got sacked 4 times. Imagine what the Colts defense could do against him with DeForest Buckner. That guy's a freak. They're going to use and abuse Davis Mills back there. I feel bad, but I have them scoring pretty highly. Anywhere between 10 to 12 points. I think it's going to be a good game for the Colts. And then lastly, I got the Packers and Bears. I know, divisional game. Uh, why? Because I don't think the Packers are going to let a rookie QB just. you know, compete with them. I think they have too much pride for that.
Yeah, man. I think Justin Fields is the most sacked quarterback this year, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely think that Reed's projected top five Packers defense will make some noise this week. But yeah, speaking of the Packers, have you been hearing a lot about Quadzilla, AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon, you mean that guy who's getting the ball more than Aaron Jones last week?
Pretty much, my friend. I don't know how many points Aaron Jones had, but I know it wasn't a lot.
Nope,
Uh,
I have him.
but AJ Dillon had 17.9 points in PPR leagues. He only had the ball 8 times rushing, but I believe he had 54 yards on those 8 carries. And then, of course, he had a lot of touches in the pass game, which is not too much of his style, but for some reason, they had him in there and he was making some noise there. So last week he had 10.7 points. This week 17.9 points. Going up against Chicago, it's a pretty hard defense, but I think they're going to play some smash mouth football. So look for them to use AJ Dillon, especially at the goal line.
Oh yeah, definitely. That quite surprised me. It really ticked me off that AJ Dillon was getting the ball a lot, and I was like, "Dang it, man! I hate when Reed is right." Reed said that they're going to start switching up the backs over there, and Aaron Jones, you expect him to be a point machine, but that week he really wasn't. Give the ball a lot to AJ Dillon. It kind of reminds me of Chase Edmonds and a James Conner
Oh, for sure.
rotation that they have in Arizona. Even though the Niners almost shut them down in the running game. It's just they had a little lucky toss or whatnot. Um, but yeah, that's the type of system it reminds me of. AJ Dillon would not be a bad pickup. Is he starting material?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think he's only starting if you're having really bad issues at running back. Let's say you had Saquon, and then let's say you had Cordero Patterson as well. That's already two running backs that were probably your starters that are not playing. So, like, if you have some situation like that where you're needing some running backs, there's nobody on there besides AJ Dillon or any of the guys that we just mentioned, like Darrell Williams. That's pretty much it. Devontae Booker. If those guys are not there and you can't get them off the waiver wire, I would say AJ Dillon's a safe bet. He'd probably get like maybe 10 points this upcoming week. But yeah, if you're having super bad struggles, these are the guys that you got to pick up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have one question for you, Vince.
Go ahead, my friend.
Okay. You see a lot of start this person, sit this guy. There's this one guy that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have starting in their lineup. And this guy, his name is Tyler Lockett. Should people start Tyler Lockett or sit him? Because I know he's a very unique wide receiver, and I'm picking Tyler Lockett over DK because DK is real basic. He goes to snap, he gets open, boom. And Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson, they have that connection, where Russell Wilson has that touch where he just gets it right in the right spot for Lockett. Can Geno Smith translate or do that for Lockett in this upcoming weeks?
No, he can't. Uh, Geno Smith's a great quarterback. He's going to be a great backup for us for the time being that Russell Wilson's out. But he just does not have the touch the same way that Russell Wilson has with Tyler Lockett. I think Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett had the perfect QBR rating for like passes to from quarterback to wide receiver. But yeah, it's not going to be replicated. He might get him on like a little dig route or a little out route, but his favorite receiver right now is DK Metcalf, and it showed on one of the only drives that he had when Russell Wilson got hurt in the second half. So I think you sit Tyler Lockett if I'm being honest.
Nice. See, that's what I was thinking because Tyler Lockett, he's a freak. He's by far, I think, more talented than DK as of now. But I mean, that's the type of receiver that's real complex to really get the ball to. And him and Russell Wilson just have that connection where in DK, you could put him in other systems and he could fit in very well in those systems. But when you put Tyler Lockett, unless you have a very experienced quarterback, maybe like an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady, other than that, I don't see him having much success. But I mean, there you have it, guys. Unbiased right there.
Yeah, man. I mean, even though they're going up against the Steelers, I just don't see Lockett getting open like he usually does. And even when if he is open, I don't know if Geno Smith's gonna see him as quickly as Russell does. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think you start him.
Oh man, yeah, that's tough. But I mean, fantasy football is not easy, right? You never know what's going to happen every week, especially in a 14-man league. And if you're in more than that, oh geez. So let me know. I'll do my best to help you out. Let me or Vince know. Guys, if you guys have any questions, just like you saw today, we got those questions that we got on social media or text messaging. If you have my number or anything, text it to me, DM me, email me. Just give us a question. We'll put it on here. We'll answer you right then and there, but we'll put it on here and we'll answer it live for everyone else to see. But I want to give a huge shout out to one, Joseph Longoria, two, Benny Benavides, and number three, our very own Gabriel Munoz. That guy doesn't listen, but he recognizes that he should.
Yeah, he tries his best, man. He adds his own opinion in there sometimes. So sometimes sometimes he's right. Sometimes most of the time we're right. I mean, we study this stuff like the back of our hands all the time. So it comes easy to us.
Yes, it does. And I do mean we have a lot of notes. I mean, this is just a glance of like what we got. We do this all the time, but we love it. We like doing it. It's a lot of fun. Um, but it drives our mental state, insane.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, until next time, guys, this will be out Tuesday, so you guys get a chance on the waiver wire. This could be our new schedule. It's just going to be us, unless we have special guests. If you guys want to show up to ask us a question live with us, let us know. We could maybe work it out depending on the circumstances. But until next time, you guys, we'll see you guys on the waiver wire.
Hold on, AJ. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
We gotta talk about Thursday night football real
Thank
fast.
you for reminding me. You even told me right before we started the podcast.
Heck yeah, bro. I think
Yeah.
we got the Bucks and the Eagles.
The Bucks and the Eagles. Is that going to be the game? Because you know what, the Eagles came back and beat out the Panthers. Did they not?
I think it's gonna be a decent game, but I think Tampa Bay has too many weapons. But Philly's defense is pretty good. I think they're ranked 11th in the league right now, which is pretty good for um, a team like Philadelphia right now. I think they're 2-3, so still pretty good. But I think Tampa Bay's too much. I mean, they got Godwin, Evans, Brown, Fournette, Tom Brady. I don't know who else I'm forgetting. Gronk's not
This
there right now; he's hurt. But so many weapons.
Josh Gordon, right?
Josh Gordon's there now too. Like
Yeah.
they can literally close their eyes and throw anybody on the field, and they just throw the ball up. They're probably catching it. So, but I mean, if that doesn't tell you guys who I think is winning, I don't know what else does. But let's see. So, but yeah, all those guys that I just mentioned, if you have them on your team, you better be starting them. Uh, but yeah, so
There's been this
go
is our
ahead.
sixth Thursday night game, right?
Yeah,
Because I know I'm undefeated in Thursday night football games.
yeah. I think you're the only one undefeated right now. I think I'm 4-1. Gabe's 2-3, and then I think Reed is either 4-1 as well, um, or he's 3-2. But so far, I mean, I'm not too bad with a 4-1 record. I think I can come back and beat you by the end of the year if you don't
Oh,
go
you think
undefeated.
so, huh?
But this is who I got, man. I got Bucks 28. I got the Eagles having 24 points. I think they'll put up some points on there and hold the Bucks from letting Tom Brady have another fantasy week of 40 points. Uh, but yeah, I don't think the Eagles can get it done. I just think Tampa Bay is too good. Not so much defensively wise right now, but offensively they just have too many weapons.
Okay. Well, something like you, Vince. I'm still finishing up my picture here, so excuse me, but I'm almost done. Don't worry.
I got you.
But I feel like the Eagles have to really perform defensively, which they have a lot of defensive injuries to stay in this game, kind of like how they did with Carolina, because I feel like they're going to be out of that game until they came back and you know they did something magical. And Jalen Hurts, he did it for the team. and I think it was a good payout. I have the Buccaneers right here. I got them going 24 to 17. And if you guys don't notice, I picked lightsabers over swords, just because I think lightsabers are way better than the little cheap swords that they have, even for the flag. But that's my prediction. I think the Buccaneers are going to take it. I got a perfect record that you saw in the top right. I put it right there. I'm 5-0 right here, and we got our magnet right there. If you guys are interested in getting magnets or any type of not so pro merchandise, let me know. We'll hook you guys up.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, there you have it.
That's
All right.
fantasy talk for the week.
Fantasy talk for the week, baby. We'll see you guys on the waiver wire. Until next time, keep on grinding. This is going to be kind of awkward because my mouse just died. This is sorry. I can't stop the video. You guys are stuck here with us. Here we go. All right. See you guys. See you until next time.
Later.